so sorry. What's up?
I noticed you've been on your phone a lot lately.
Yeah, I've been really busy.
And I noticed it's been a while since you've caught up with me over phone call.
You're right. I'm sorry. I've just been busy. Like I said, family, work, so many things, life. When do you want me to call you?
How about sometime this week?
Okay, sure. I've been a bad friend. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
How has life been? Maybe I should call you next week.
Yes, like we
Okay.
discussed.
Yes, you're right.
You know, I totally understand that life gets busy, but it's still important to catch up with your friends and make time for that.
I know. That's true. I will do it. Thank you so much for reminding me. I feel like I need to remind myself and others too. I haven't caught up with a lot of people in my life.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Thank you for the reminder.
You're welcome.
No matter how busy life gets, remember to communicate with your friends and family. You never know when they just need someone to talk to. This has been a reminder from INCRadio San Diego.
This is INCRadio DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to New Jersey Satellite Studio, where we show you the flavor of life here in the District of New Jersey. Hey everyone, and welcome back to INC Radio New Jersey Satellite Studio, where we show you the flavor of life. And in last week's flavor, we talked about chicken or unalive chicken. And this week we will be talking about living chickens and talking about that's right, we're talking about keeping chickens. So all right, and we have our favorite chicken expert with us today. So hello, Grace.
Hi, Jeff. I'm really excited to talk about keeping chickens today.
All right. We're also excited to learn more about your chickens, Grace. I don't know if we're going to have time to meet each and every one of them individually. But for our viewers and listeners, we've seen Grace here before. She is also a professional gardener. Is that right, Grace? Just want to make sure that I get all your credentials right before we get
Yes.
started. All right. And how long have you had these chickens? Oh, how long have you been raising chickens?
We've been raising chickens since 2013, the spring of 2013.
You're going to make me do math on air.
Oh, I can't do the math either.
I think that's 12 years.
12 years? All right, 12 years. So you've been raising chickens for 12 years. And just for your background, you did have chickens when you were a child, when you were living in Hawaii, right? Just for,
Yes, my parents had chickens for a short while when I was a kid.
okay.
And those chickens in Hawaii did learn how to surf. So
I'm not sure about
Well,
that.
well, they surf right onto the table, Jeff. That's what they did. So, but just for everyone's knowledge, these chickens do not surf onto Grace's table.
They are our pets. Yes.
They are pets and mostly pets just for fun, like a dog or a cat. And they happen to lay eggs that are delicious because I've sampled it. So before we get started on our video, we do want to meet your chickens. So this video, for those of you who are just listening, please catch the replay when you have a chance to look at the video because we will be showing a video and we'll be talking over it. So just way of background, you and your family decided, you and Abe decided to keep chickens because you wanted fresher eggs. They also help with the composting and of course the very important garden. So fertilizing the garden. And as you said, they're super cute. Although personally, chickens are a little scary to me because they have those beaks. Yeah. Maybe I need to have some exposure therapy, Grace, and play with your chickens so that I don't think they're so scary.
I think you need to come over and meet my chickens.
Are we? If we have can arrange a day, that would be great. And if we can go home with some eggs, I'll bring my own container.
Okay, it's a deal.
All right. So Bartek is ready. Let's start playing the video. The this first shot for me is very surprising, actually. Once the video starts playing, how did you get these chicks through the mail? I didn't think you could mail. I don't think you could mail live animals.
So chicks actually are born with like their yolk still attached to them. The yolk is actually a food source, and so like they can survive 1 to 2 days without food and water. So they're still kind of like in a way self-sufficient after they hatch. So then that's why they're able to be mailed, but they have to be mailed very quickly, like
So
right after they're born.
so right after you unbox them, they go into this container where you have to provide heat, food, and water. How
Yes.
long do they stay inside the aquarium?
I would say they need heat. Well, I guess it depends on the temperature outside, but chicks need to be like super warm. So they want to be 95 degrees. So you do need like a heat source. And then the ones that you saw in that video was like a infrared lamp, but they have
Oh, so that's
safer
what that is.
ones. Yes, they
Yeah.
have safer ones that they make for reptiles now that are just like a ceramic because the
Yeah.
infrared can actually have some fire happening.
Oh
So
no, I used to have a turtle, so I know about the reptile.
yeah, they have like a ceramic reptile lamp.
So, how many chickens do you actually have at any given time?
Me and Abe have decided that we will keep anywhere between like up to 15 is the most we've ever had, but at the moment we have 6. And this is the least amount we've ever had. So
Okay.
anywhere between 6 and 15.
What is this dust bathing that we're seeing right now? I'm very confused. Is
And
this
that is a cool looking chicken with the red. What do you call that, Grace?
A comb.
A comb.
is
This
that the thing that's called a comb?
that's
Oh,
called a
comb.
comb.
It
Yeah.
reminds me. This reminds me of the cartoon. The chicken hawk, where it's always like, what are you looking for? It's always digging. So the dust bathing. That their way of having fun? Besides,
Well, it's a way of cleaning themselves of parasites. So then like there's like um I guess sharp things in the dust that like they kick up under their feathers and the dust gets under their feathers and it's supposed to help like cleanse them of parasites.
so you don't actually clean your chickens; they clean
They
themselves.
clean themselves,
Well,
yeah.
cleaning chickens.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then usually I put a little like kiddie pool of sand and then they'll just bathe in that. And
Okay, so they also have their own sandbox.
yes.
All right.
You have a
Okay.
sand? Do they make
I-
sand castles? That's so cool.
Okay, so it's important to note that you have a specific breed of chickens that you order.
In that box from that first video, we had a breed that laid green and blue eggs, and so like we couldn't find them locally, and that's why we ended up mail ordering them.
Because you wanted green and blue eggs.
Yes,
Do they taste any different?
they taste the same.
Oh, so green's not matcha and blue's not like raspberry.
That would be amazing if they had flavor.
No, that would be gross. I don't want matcha flavored eggs. That's so bizarre. Okay, so do you name your chickens? Do they all have names?
They have in the past. My chickens currently do not, but my first batch did.
Okay, of course. First always, right? And how much time do you spend caring for them every day? I mean, these are still alive. It's not like they live in the house where like dogs and cats where you can see them. So how
Yeah,
do you
they're pretty simple once you have like a routine down. They do have to be trained, but now that we've had them trained, really what all I do is let them out in the morning, give them food and water, and then lock them up at night.
wait,
That's
what's the routine? Walk us through.
um well,
So in the morning, what happens?
in the morning I go to their coop, I let them out, I refill their food and water, and then I'll usually take out like food scraps or things like that, and then they'll just hang out
I
in the run all day.
I
The
didn't
run
know
is like the area outside their coop, but it's still fenced, so then they're
okay.
protected.
I didn't know
Predators.
chickens ate greens. Like what we're seeing on video right now, they were eating greens. I always thought they just ate. Okay, this part scares me. It reminds me of like when pigeons come flocking in New York when they see bread on the ground. But Is this your hand?
That's my hand, yeah. That's my hand. I mean,
What? Oh,
they
they're even
can
going
be
through the
aggressive.
fingers. Did you see it, Jeff? It's going. Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm fascinated because like those beaks are sharp, right? Like, how come it doesn't feel like needles getting? Yeah, Grace, can you let us know?
They can be a little bit aggressive when you have food in your hand. But then like you can just kind like what I was doing in that video, like if you try and touch their backs, if they are submissive to you, like they'll like squat, and so like they will just back off. So it's like another thing that you can like train chickens to do.
Wow. Okay. It's like I don't want to have any dead air, but this is fascinating to me. Is that Sandro?
That is true. That is well, so chickens are really good for kids, and like what we were talking about earlier, like kids have no fear about chickens. Like he's he's feeding them too.
And he's also color coordinated because he was wearing red to match their combs. That's so
And,
cool.
and here we have the cat with the chicken. So this is your cat, which I didn't realize you let outside.
I
And
don't anymore, but this was a few years ago,
okay,
and
so the cat doesn't chase the chickens don't chase the cat. They
he
get along
kind of like
fine.
half-heartedly chases them, but he's never like attacked them in any sort of way. They're like so predators are like a real big problem for chickens. So wild cats definitely can, but the chickens and the cats are almost the same size, so it's not
Okay,
usually a problem, but other
okay.
animals can definitely be a problem.
All right. So the routine in the morning is you come, you let them out, you feed them, either chicken feed or leftovers, and then what happens after that?
And then I close the door and then I go
To work.
to work.
And they stay outside. They stay outside in their chicken run, which is the
Yes.
fenced enclosure
Yeah.
on your property. And then when you come home, what happens? Oh, it's the green egg that we're talking about. So what
Oh, that's
happens
so
when you come
cool.
home?
When I come home, I mean, if I am working in the backyard, then I will let them out, but I really won't like let them out into the big yard unless I'm like really there with them.
Okay, so after they eat in the morning, they have to go back in the coop.
They so chickens can be trained to go into their coop at night.
So what? So in the
Wow.
daytime, they're outside or they're inside the coop.
They're outside the coop. Yeah, they're in the run,
Okay.
the fenced in area.
Okay.
They actually like don't really go into the coop unless they're sleeping.
Okay. All right. So at night, do they eat again at night? How often do they eat?
I give them a fixed amount. We kind of know already how much they can eat in a day. So we give them that set amount in a day. Because we were free feeding, like keeping just like um, like all the
Tourist
food
traps?
available for them, but then it started attracting rats. And so now we just feed them as much as they can eat. And then that's it.
So if they don't finish their food, it gets taken away and you put it away somewhere. It goes into the composting pile or something?
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't we know how much they eat in a day, and they're good with that.
Okay. Wow. All right. So you brought up predators. So we saw in the videos that they have a fenced-in enclosure. How do you is that the only way you can protect them?
That and being physically present, which is why I won't let them out into the yard unless I'm there to supervise. Because I mean, I've even been like in the very far back of our yard, and then there was like a raccoon trying to get one of my chickens. Like, and they were like literally just like 30 seconds away from me. So
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay.
I really now have a rule where like either me or Abe have to be like just like right next to them while
Okay.
they're running around.
Okay. So let's pause for a second. I just want to give some background to our viewers and listeners. So you live in a part of Western Pennsylvania where the local laws allow you to have chickens. I actually would love to have chickens, but where I live, it would be close to impossible, especially since I don't have a yard. But even where my parents live, and this is just a disclaimer to everyone, please check with your local laws first before ordering some chickens. I mean, the chicks are super cute, and with the price of eggs nowadays, it seems more practical to maybe have because how many eggs do the chickens lay per day or per week? I don't know how. Is it every day they lay eggs?
This time of year, I would say if you have younger chickens, like 2 years or younger, yeah, it would be every day in the spring. They'd slow down, and like once it starts getting hot, like once you start getting days in the 90s, they start slowing down, and then in the fall they'll pick back up, and then once it starts getting cold, they'll slow down again. So like weather really
Affects them.
affects them, and daylight also affects them. So once the daylight starts going
Get
down, they
shorter.
also, yeah.
Okay, but that's a but if you had 15 chickens and that's 15 eggs a day, that's a lot of eggs. I'm not going to do the math on there because it's embarrassing that I can't fit 75. 75 75 eggs for 5 days.
Wow, your
That's a
cholesterol
lot
must
of
be high. Just kidding.
eggs. Right? So
I feel very rich when I have that many eggs.
like I would feel overwhelmed. Like, what am I feel pressure. Like, what would I do with all these eggs? Do I give them away? Do I sell them? Do I mean, if you have a big family, it's great. And if you bake a lot and cook a lot, it's a great source to have. So, but again, please check with your local laws for everyone who's tuned in before you buy chickens, because the authorities will come in and take them away. Or make you get rid of them, which is even sadder for that fate.
Yeah,
Jeffrey,
definitely in the beginning, I was making a lot of quiches and making flans. But now I just give them to my friends and family because I don't know, it's a lot of work.
but it is no cooking and baking is a lot of work, but also the eggs are so delicious. I have to say, the eggs that we got from you were the most flavorful. I don't know how to describe the flavor of an egg, but the yolk was heavy. It was yellower. It was, yeah, those were the best eggs. So,
It probably
um,
had a lot to do with like it was they were grazing on grass, and like also when I gave them to you, they were probably only at most a week old. And so like the freshness probably also had a big effect on.
until you told me, I didn't realize the eggs that we get at the grocery store are a few weeks old already, which, which is a little disappointing because I buy organic eggs. It's like, how much of their organic properties do they retain after, being at a few weeks? So, okay. So, Jeff, did you have any questions for Grace about her chickens?
Oh, so many. So actually, Grace, big question is for someone who would be interested in getting started, what are your recommendations? Like how would someone who's interested in getting raising chickens get started?
Um, I mean, I think like if you talk to someone who has raised chickens before, you would get a better idea of like what um goes into the care. Like I would definitely recommend doing your research. So like getting chickens is like really the smallest cost of what it's going to be because you need a coop, you need a run, like something to keep them protected. You need to know like what Leia mentioned, what your local laws are. And then, is your lifestyle going to um does it match up with keeping chickens? Because like I mean, I don't know. I think of my chickens as pets, but and so like I have to rush home if it's like dark, so then they're safe and I have to lock them up. So I mean, if you're like going out and like you're gonna be back late at night, um, like maybe think about like, are you ready for that commitment? But Abe actually took a chicken course at our local college, and so like those things are available. And I think like farms sometimes have them, and so like you might want to look up if that kind of thing is available
Oh,
if you're very.
I would never have thought of that. That's so cool.
Are you thinking about getting chickens, Jeff?
Honestly, I would consider, especially given how much eggs cost now. That could become that's an investment.
It definitely is an investment.
Yeah.
it wasn't um it wasn't economical when we first started 12 years ago, but now it kind of actually makes sense.
All right.
And
Um,
and also another question too, because we're in an area that is known for having certain pests in the area. For example, like ticks. And I've heard that they've the government sometimes will release quails into an area to get rid of them. I think the chickens would be good for that too, right?
Yeah, so chickens do eat a lot of bugs, and so they can decrease your bug population. Although I've heard guineas are a lot better for doing like ticks and stuff, but I also
Okay.
heard guineas are very loud. I have not had them.
What is a guinea? I have to look this up.
It's like it's kind of like a quail, I think. Like it's a very little bird that people keep.
Okay. Okay, so another bird. All right. Any other questions from you, Jeff?
Those are the big ones. Yeah, it's just so interesting. Like I would love to try it out. We do have some space in the backyard. There is some green area. If the chickens can be trained to do yard work, that'd be good. So I don't have to mow the lawn. Yeah, winter and fall, if the chickens can rake the leaves with their claws. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, we have to wrap up because we're coming to time. But Grace, what do you do with the chickens in the winter or bad weather?
The breeds we have are known to be cold hardy, so they live in their coop outside. They actually in the winter, the biggest thing for them is ventilation. So what we actually learned is like our coop has a window, and we used to close that window in the winter, but they actually did worse when we closed the window. Like the ventilation is actually
Very important.
um very important, and so they did better with the window open even though it's colder in the coop. And they actually, like, when it's really cold, they just snuggle together, and they're very cute and
Oh,
loving to each other.
okay.
And
And
sometimes one tucks under the wing of another one. It's really cute.
Aw, chicken chums. That's so cool.
that sounds like a good show for your chickens. But who did Abe build your coop? Did you build your coop yourself or did you buy it?
Yeah, we built it together. Yes, it took like probably 2 months for us to build it, but it's still standing 12 years later. So
And
yeah.
what's in the coop?
What do you mean?
Like, what did you put any bedding in there? Is
Oh
there
yeah, so there's
any?
bedding. There's a nest box, so that's where they lay their eggs. There's
And
two
do they
doors.
know to go there to lay their eggs? I think this is fascinating. They're just like, oh,
Yes.
not
So
laying egg. Let
actually,
me
what
go in
you
the
can
box.
do is put like a fake egg in the nest box, and then they're just like, oh, there's an egg there. I guess that's where I lay my eggs. And then like that's literally how you train them to lay their eggs there.
Because otherwise, you'd have to be searching everywhere for their eggs, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you do. Wow, that's fascinating. And it didn't take that long for them to figure out that that's where they have to go to lay their eggs.
Yes. Yeah. They're smart, and they're very trainable and very food motivated.
Yeah, yeah. Too
Sounds like
bad that.
me, except the trainable part.
All right, Grace, we have to wrap up this segment. Do you have any last thoughts, advice, or tips that you'd like our viewers to know about raising chickens? I mean, you obviously love it because you've been doing it for 12 years. So, any last thoughts?
Yeah, I think if if it's allowed where you live and you want to do it, I think go for it. Do your research. It's a fun hobby. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know.
All right, thanks so much, Grace. And do you have any shout outs before? Actually, this is our next segment. We're just going to go to our shout outs. Do you have any shout outs?
I just like to say hi to my husband Abe, and thanks for deciding to get chickens 12 years ago.
Yeah, thanks for those delicious eggs, Abe. All right, so we actually are going to ask our tech to play the shout out bumper. No bumper? Okay, no bumper. All right, Jeff, what about you? Do you have any shout outs?
Yeah, I got quite a bit, so let's get through them fast. So, happy birthday to Nikki Valdez, brother Christian Valdez. Happy birthday also to John Peralta, Leela Saint Amand, who you've seen on our show before. Also, Teresa Castro, who you've also seen on our show before. And happy birthday to you, Leia. Yeah, hope you had a great one. And also, welcome to America, Mario Lucas, my father in law. He's here with us. And happy birthday also to Marianne Fernandez. Happy birthday to my
Woo!
wife.
Yes, happy birthday to your wife. Okay. All right, so we have a couple of greetings in the live chat. We want to say hello to Mario Oka, greetings from the Philippines in Brixtonville, District of Caloocan North. And we also I want to say hello to Rowena Guerzon. Belated happy birthday to you. And we have happy birthday greetings to Mon Fernandez from Maricel Dagadot. From Michelle Rizzo, we have happy birthday to Sister Mercy Gorillo of Philadelphia. And advance happy birthday to Sister Renali, Sister Nora, and Brother Roland of Philadelphia as well. And thank you, Maan, for the belated happy birthday greetings. Okay, moving on to our next segment. On to you, Jeff.
All right, and we have our hashtag. So, Kuyatek, if you've got the hashtag bumper.
Now announcing our hashtag winners.
All right, honorable mention. We have Whippany. Congratulations, Whippany. In third place, we have Elizabeth. Congratulations, Elizabeth. You are in third place. In second place, we have Amazing Aston. Congratulations, Aston. And in first place, drumroll please, Bayonne. Congratulations, Bayonne. You are our winner of the hashtag challenge for last week. All right, over to you, Leia.
Wow, Bayonne. It's been a while that they've been in the top position. All right, before we move on to our next segment, I just want to mention something that Abe said in the live chat. You do not need a rooster to get eggs. So there are no roosters because roosters also are a bit aggressive.
But if you need an alarm clock in the morning, a rooster is probably helpful.
But sometimes, Jeff, the roosters in the Philippines, they don't know what time it is. It'll be in the middle of the day, and they are. I don't know what is when they make the alarm sound. What is that called?
Oh,
They're roosting. I don't know whatever that sound is. So,
they're
all
making a
right.
rooster riot.
Yeah, you can hear them like all throughout Quezon City. There, it's like 12 noon. Like, do they know what time it is? It's been the sun's been up for a while. All right, moving on to our next segment. We have our activity update. Have that bumper.
Activity updates.
All right, we have two upcoming activities. One is tomorrow. It's a CBI event in Elizabeth. I believe that's at 6 p.m. And then on May 4, we have the TSV workshop, which is open to everyone who wants to learn more about electronics, media, etc. So, as a reminder, please check with your local congregation for details on local events and the daily Bible study schedule. So, we are actually done with our show, Jeff. Unless there's something else that you want to ask Grace, takeaways, we got time for, I think, another minute or two for questions, comments.
I kind of just want to go over there and like pet some of those chickens. I bet it's so relaxing.
But Grace said that you have to wait to see if they squat.
Ah.
All right, so maybe we'll have a show when we go and visit Grace's backyard to meet the chickens. All right, Jeff. So let's close out the show.
All right, thank you, everyone. That's it for today's show. And if you were ever wondering who let the chickens out, who, it was Grace and Abe. So thanks again to Grace and Abe.
I was gonna say, can you bring them to a center? You can't pack them into a car and bring them to us, right, Grace? That would be impossible. No.
I'll burrito them in some newspaper.
Live burrito, yeah. Oh, but yes, thank you to everyone who tuned in today and learned about keeping our feathered friends. If you found value in our discussion today, please like and subscribe for more content like this. And if you think this episode would be helpful to someone you know, please share a link with them. And if you also have a topic, something that you were thinking about, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Or something. How fast do chickens run? Do they fly? What other animals can we keep? If you have any other topics that you would like to talk about, please let us know so that we can generate a topic about it. We can also find a panel. If you have something that you want to present, let us know. So feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah, and if you want to join us on the panel, just let us know. We're always happy to have guests on the show. All right, before we go, we'd like to thank our church administration for their continued support to INC Radio and allowing us to have the show where we can stay connected and learn together. We especially thank our beloved executive minister, Brother Eduardo Manalo, and our SEPSI president and CFO coordinator, Brother Angelo Manalo. We'd also like to thank our INC radio station manager, Brother Wally Taran.
Before we say goodbye again, we thank again our viewers and listeners for taking the time to watch this episode. See you on the next excellent episode of INC Radio New Jersey.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Ronan. Happy birthday to my wife again.
Yay.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954, the voice of